connected now. Um, I'll be talking about being the scapegoat in your family, church, and workplace. So, and get the information up. Um, let's see. Okay, so I'll say it again. I'll be talking about being the scapegoat in your family, church, or workplace. So I'm gonna talk about being punished for telling the truth. So when you're just trying to how do I say it? Um, you keep it real, and sometimes people don't like the truth. Sometimes people find the truth offensive and they're not ready for it. This could be even if you're prophetic and and you say things, and because of people how sensitive they are, they can get very very offended and not ready for the truth. And when you're a truth teller and you speak your mind, you can still have self control. You should know when to say things, you should know when to hold back, and but at the same time, when people are stubborn, sometimes they're never ready to hear the truth. They're never ready to hear the truth. They just care about image. They just care about how they look there, and they're not ready for accountability. They just want to look good. This could be, in work at the workplace. There's certain things that need to be done, and there's certain concerns you have, and you address it. And sometimes they don't like the truth, and they feel ashamed. Sometimes they feel too ashamed to face the truth, so they punish you and put you down for it. And you know, um, this could lead to excluding you, trying to humiliate you, or gaslighting you, and making you look like you're silly. And this could be in church as well. Sometimes you'll get punished for being like telling the truth, and they can leave you out and make you feel, like you've done something wrong, and they exclude you or they publicly shame you, and they put you down. And sometimes they could just really give you a hard time and make working difficult. And being a scapegoat. You know, um, Growing up in church, you're told to be a good girl, you're told to be a good boy, and people will love you. But when you're a good person, sometimes they can put you down. When you're a good person, you will get punished, you will get put down sometimes, and people don't appreciate good people anymore. They just use them, a lot of them. When you're a good person, sometimes they just want to give you their misplaced anger and make you feel like you've done something wrong when you haven't. Telling the truth, being honest, keeping it real, being authentic. They don't like authentic. They don't like you being authentic. And it's so important not to take it personally. You can't take it personally. Someone trying to, you know, um, intimidate you and make you feel like you're stupid for telling the truth, or just being a truth teller and keeping it real. God wants us to keep things real, and being prophetic and telling the truth. You will get punished for it sometimes, and they just feel uncomfortable. They want to remain the same. They want to remain um, with a poor character. They want to have a poor character and just stay the same. They don't want to change. And you are the truth teller. You keep it real and you're honest. And sometimes when you are honest and you keep it real and you're being authentic, you will be put down because they feel ashamed of themselves. They feel ashamed. They don't like the truth. They don't want to face it. They don't want to face the truth. And you have to keep being on purpose and doing your thing, and even if they don't like it. So the second one is you are the whistleblower. Literally, it's the same thing. It's the same thing being a whistleblower. You tell the truth, and you keep it. You help people that feel oppressed. People that feel oppressed and mistreated. You help people. You help people. That feel unheard, that feel like oppressed and bullied, and it's so important not to take it personally when people put you down. They're not ready to grow. They're not ready to heal. Some people don't want the truth. Some people don't like the truth, and they don't like people keeping it real and being honest. And you are the whistleblower. You're the whistleblower. You don't tolerate nonsense. You don't tolerate abuse and mistreatment. And some people, don't want to give. They don't want to be told no, and have for you to have boundaries. So it's so important not to take it personally. Don't take it personally. Being a whistleblower, and you tell the truth, and you're doing your thing. So the other one is they blame you for their own issues. They feel insecure, they feel jealous, they have all these self-esteem problems. They have this self-esteem problems that take it out on you. They have self-hatred. They're full of self-hatred, and they just hate themselves, and they just don't like themselves. They have flaws that they want to deal with. Instead of them, learning how to deal with it, they just take out their anger out on you. They blame you for everything, and you feel like you're never enough. Like what you do is never enough, and sometimes it can be very disheartening because you feel like you do your best, but they don't listen. You try to help them, but at the same time they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work. Next one is you're held to a different standard. So this is the next one. You're held to a different standard. So some people are flaky, they misbehave, they're rude, they have no respect. But when it comes to you, you're kind, you're sweet, and you can't commit to something because you're busy, and they just scream at you or they put you down. All the anger was for somebody else, but you're held to a different standard. And like when it comes to you, you have to be perfect. This is why people turn to addictions. They turn to they try to seek approval online because people are just so cruel. They assume that they could just take out their anger out on you, and it's not right. You are held to different standards. So when it comes to they just want to micromanage you and overly watch you and harass you. But when it comes to others, they just let them be, give 50%. You always give it, you might give 70%, they give 30%, and they just take it out on you. So, where's the 30%? This is how people are. They're like, where's the 30%? Some people give 30%, 20%. You give 70%, and they'll be like, oh, where's the 30% with you? They tear you down. That's why it's so important not to take it personally, because some people are struggling with low self-esteem because people are so ungrateful, and they take it so personally because they're held to a different standard. They are held to a different standard, and it's not right. It really isn't right, and you can't take it personally. You're a good person. You need to validate yourself. God validates you. You're doing enough. You're doing enough. Next one is you feel excluded. This could make you feel like you're not good enough, you're not cool enough, you're not doing enough, and that's not the case. You're a good worker, or you're a good daughter, or you're just good at what you're good at what you do. You're good at serving, but sometimes they will exclude you out of jealousy, ignorance. They don't understand you. They think you're weird, but you're unique. You're unique, and you can just be yourself. And this is how people, this is how spirit of rejection happens. They don't feel like they're good enough. They feel like maybe if there was more like that person, that they'll get attention, and they end up being a people pleaser and chasing people. So next one is they gossip about you. You're just the easy target to complain about. Instead of doing the work and healing and growing, they rather just talk about you. They rather just talk about you, and make you the bad guy because they're not ready to do the work. They're not ready to be a woman of integrity. The next one is they make you feel ashamed or guilty. You know, they make you feel so ashamed and guilty. You know, if you can't attend somewhere, they want to humiliate you. They want to put you down in front of people and make you feel small. Like if you say no, they use shame tactics. You know, if you don't go to church anymore, you go to a different one, they'll say that you're sinning, like you're in sin. You know, you decide to go to a different church that fits your values, and people might be asking about you, and they might say stuff and smear campaigns saying that you're in rebellion, or you're this, you're that, and they use shame, you know, to make you feel embarrassed for doing certain things. Like you make a decision in life, and they shame you for it, and then they make you feel fearful. And you know, when they come to church, they might say, "Oh, somebody left our church and they died." So it's very, very important not to take the fear tactics personally. You know, when it comes to, you know, sometimes workplace they use fear tactics. Oh, you might lose your job, and to try to intimidate you because you stuck up for yourself. And they use shame tactics, and or you might get fired for this or something like that, and try to shame you and embarrass you, or you know, they make you keep on your toes and they don't make you feel good. And the next one is they set you up to fail. You know, whatever you do is never enough. You know, whatever you do is never enough, and they set you up to fail, and they don't really want you to win. They don't want you to win, and it's not always obvious. It's not always obvious sometimes, and when you realize this, you know, you could look into it and observe their behavior, and they know who you are. They know your values. They know your strong points, but sometimes they look at your weaknesses and flaws, and they take note, and they just get so excited to use it against you. You know, so this is what people do. They explore your weaknesses, and they they take advantage of it. So it's so important not to you know, take it personally, and watch out. You know, set boundaries. You know, distance yourself. If you realize someone's trying to frame you, or trying to, don't fall for the bait. You know, don't fall for the bait. It's not right what they're doing, but it's okay to have boundaries, and keep a distance from people like that. Next one is you don't really receive compliments, or you know, you don't receive praise for your achievements. So if you achieve something, they're not going to say well done most of the time. They're not going to say, whoa, congratulations. They don't want to validate you. They want to keep you humble and burnt out and weak and depressed, and always begging for their approval. So don't fall for it. You know, you congratulate yourself. You know, God is proud of you. You know, God is proud of you. You've done so well. You're so creative. You're so beautiful, and you're so unique, and you're so different. And God loves you the way you are. You know, sometimes people can be very jealous, ignorant, and they can make you feel like you're never enough, and it could turn to burnout. You know, and people want that validation and don't get it, because people are so jealous, and they just hold the compliments in because of their envy. And you can't take it personally. Just be proud of yourself, and you know, always self-soothe yourself, and validate yourself. Next one is you're always ignored. You know, you're the punching bag. You know, people don't respect you at all, and they just always ignore you. And sometimes sometimes it's hurt. Sometimes it hurts because you know, you don't understand why they're doing this, and you feel so powerless. But you can't take it personally. Some people even say that, oh, you know, you can't be emotional. You can't be emotional in ministry. You can't be too emotional, and you can't be moved by emotions. But anger is emotion, and sometimes people are shouting. You know, they're shouting in a sermon. They're shouting and have attitude. They're moody. They're miserable, and they say, "Oh, you can't be led by their emotions." But this person seems angry on stage, and it seems like they're being led by their emotions. They're angry on stage, and they're you know, they're shouting on stage, and they just have this attitude. Sometimes not even shouting. Sometimes they have an attitude, and they think it looks more better to be like this anger, but anger is emotion. Being irritated is emotion. So when people say don't be emotional in ministry, you can't be emotional in the business world, you know, anger is emotion. And we have to change the way we see things, because being led by emotions, sometimes we think it's just about being crying and being sensitive, but sometimes just being angry at people, and you know, that's emotional too. But that's like being emotional as well. You know, being led by your emotions. Anger is emotion. People literally on stage, um, shouting and being aggressive, and they think that they're keeping it real. They're so strong, but no, it's anger is still emotion, and and we have to look into that, and understand that using someone as a punching bag instead of communicating is not healthy. Using someone as a punching bag and misplaced anger instead of communicating with somebody, it's not healthy, and then the person gonna obviously feel intimidated or scared. Next one is you're seen in a negative light. You're just seen as a bad person. You're always the bad guy. And what you do is never enough. That's why I encourage people not to ever be um, chasing anybody. Don't chase anybody. It's not worth chasing people. If they see you in a negative light, just let them be. You don't need to prove yourself. Just be yourself. Not proving yourself, but be yourself. And if they don't like it, they can talk to somebody else. If they see you in a better negative light, just know that God sees you. God sees your worth. God sees your beauty, and you are enough. And you don't. If people see that way and they're judging you from far away, they don't know you. It's fine. You got God. You have God, and it's so important not to take it personally. People having this view about you, or they've heard something, smear campaigns, whatever it is. If you have God by your side, that's more than enough. Um, Next one is they love to manipulate you. They play all these games. That they just give you if you say no to somebody, if you say no, they give you the silent treatment, and they leave you feeling confused, and they want you to, give up and think, you know what, I'm gonna talk to this person and give in and say yes. The silent treatment, the exclusion, the isolating you. You know, just them trying. They're always trying to manipulate you. It's never genuine. When it comes to fellowship, as well. Fellowship, socializing. You want to have fun, but you always end up being manipulated. It's never fun when it comes to socializing sometimes, because people just always want to play these games. They want to manipulate you and control you. And next one is gaslighting. When someone gaslights you, it's covering up their shame. When someone tries to gaslight you, it covers up their shame and mistakes. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all fall sometimes. But some people are very arrogant. Some people are very, very arrogant, and they can't take accountability. They can't take it. So they just gaslight and bully people and make them feel like they're silly for saying something. And you can't take it personally. People love to gaslight people and put them down, but you can't really, really take it personally, because sometimes it's a cover up. They're so obsessed with image. They are so obsessed with image, and you can't take it personally. I think I've seen this one before. Uh, they project their own problems on you. Maybe they have issues with their self-esteem. They have self-hatred. They've got issues in their life, their personal life, and they just see you as an easy target to just make you feel small, like maybe ignoring you, leaving you on red, throwing shade and indirect digs at you. Sometimes they feel so unseen, or they need validation, and they just feel like they're not good enough, so they take it out on you. So whatever issue they have, they love to take it out on you. Double standards. I think I said this before, but when it comes to double standards, they like to, just put you down. If you made a mistake, they put you down, and everyone has to know. But if somebody else does something, they just say, "Oh, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's a mistake. It's alright." But when it comes to you, everyone knows. Everyone finds out about it. Next one is extreme criticism. They criticize you so much. It's hurtful. It's mean. It's harsh, and it's like a humbling tactic. They have to put you down. They have to bully you, put you down, and make you feel small. And it's not right. It's not right. But they just do it because they're insecure. They're jealous. They're ignorant, and sometimes they just can't help themselves. They can't help it. They just feel small. They feel like not good enough, so they have to take out their problems on you and make themselves feel better. You know, when they're tearing you down, it makes them feel like they're being built up, which is not the case. Um, they're very ungrateful, very, very ungrateful. You know, they're so entitled to your time, and they don't know you. Sometimes they don't even know you. You know, they don't know you, and they just met you, and they see your light, and they just think like they're just going to get their hands on you. They're very jealous, insecure, and they see your light and just want to tear you down in the process. And it's scary, but it happens, and you have to realize that being a good woman or being a good man, you can't. You still have to have boundaries. You still have to have boundaries. You have a life. You're human, and when someone's jealous, they see you as an object. When someone's jealous of you, they see you as an object, and they objectify you, and they feel like, oh, okay, can I have this? Can I have that? And this is why objectification needs to be talked about more, because entitled people love to waste your time and humble you, move the goalposts, and they love seeing you feel like they love seeing you panic, and they set you up to fail, and you know, and they're very ungrateful. You know, they're very ungrateful. They waste your time. They're entitled. They always take from you, but never give anything back, and you're left there drained, burnt out. And some people get depressed because they're being a people pleaser, and the person just takes, and you know, you have to have a limit. You have to say no. Sometimes you have to say no. You have to be like, no, this is enough now. So next one is what I said, but I said this before, but lack of support. You know, they don't support you. This is how people get depressed, burnt out, and they feel like they're never good enough, and they feel like they have to perform all the time because people are just never grateful. They never supporting you or say well done or make you feel good. It's always like they're moving the goalpost all the time, and you have to realize that you are enough, and that you always be enough to God. You know, people always try to move the goalposts all the time and say, oh yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that, but you should be proud of yourself. And being a good person can create jealousy. You know, being a good person creates jealousy sometimes, and people are very ignorant, and they're just trying to find a flaw and a weakness, and it makes them feel good. You know, pointing out a flaw or making people feel very sad and broken, and they want to tear somebody down. And the second one is what am I saying? Second one. Next one is feeling powerless. You know, they feel you feel powerless, and you just feel so unseen, unheard, and you feel like that no one understands you, but God understands you. You know, you're not powerless. You just need to set boundaries. You need to set boundaries to keep yourself a distant, like keep a healthy keep a healthy distance from people. You know, set boundaries and find your tribe, even if it's online. You know, find your tribe. It's so important not to take it personally, because sometimes they are very entitled. They're very entitled. They're very insecure. They're jealous, and they're ignorant. And sometimes they're trying to make you feel small so they can use you as much as they can. And it's so important not to take it personally. You know, and this is how you know, God wants you to, you know, trust in God wants you to be a woman of purpose, and you know how to validate yourself. You know, sometimes people want you to be broken and have low self-esteem and always trying to find approval from them and people pleasing. They want you to be a people pleaser. They want you to be always trying to find a way to get support, and sometimes they never support you. They'll say, oh, if you do this, if you do that, if you do this, if you do that, they're moving a goalpost, and they're draining you, and people feel depressed. And people that are jealous and envious, they might feel like, oh, I'm just trying to humble her. I'm just trying to humble her. You know, she's walking around thinking she's all that, and I have to humble her. But no, they're just envious. They're envious, and envious is envy is crazy because everyone's going through something. Everyone's going through something. Everyone's gone through something, and they're human. And when it comes to envy and jealousy, it's silly, and they see people as objects. No one's an object. We should all be treated with respect. You know, if you could be inspired by somebody, but don't objectify them. They're human. You know, they're human beings, and it's so important not to objectify anybody and assume that they have it all together because of social media, of what you see, you know, the smile they have, you know, their smile and their happiness, what you see can't take it in and think, okay, I'm gonna humble her now. No, we just have to be understanding and caring towards others, and appreciate hard work, appreciate good people, appreciate people being kind, appreciate people being nice, and don't see it as a way to think, oh, I could use her. I can get this, I can get that. I could. It's don't turn controlling. People can turn very controlling, and feel like they could just use people that are nice and kind. But when it comes to being a scapegoat, if you are a scapegoat, in your church, workplace, or family, you know, figure out what you want to do. What you're gonna do about it. Are you gonna change the church? You know, some people are very angry. They don't go to church anymore because they feel like people objectify them. They just want. They want their money, their time, and they don't really care about them. That's how a lot of people feel. They feel like their church don't care about them. They just want their money and time, and don't care about them. And people are they always feel like people are just trying to use them and waste their time and use up their time, but they don't really love them. It's just numbers driven, they're money driven, and they just don't care about souls. So it's so important to know what your values are. If you go to a certain church and you don't like the values, you feel like there's favoritism. Go to church that have, they care about people, that they embrace uniqueness. They think that if you feel like if you feel you don't fit in and they just have one look, everyone has to be a certain way. Go to a church that embraces uniqueness. Go to a church that embrace it, and know what your values are. It's so important to know what your values are. It's so important to know your, know what you want in life. What kind of person. Who are you, and what's your identity? What has God have? I can't speak, but know your identity in Christ. And the workplace. Set boundaries with people. And with family, set boundaries with families as well. So that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this live. Thank you for listening.